Hello, in this video, we will study the comparable interface. The comparable interface is defined in the Java API. It defines the compare to method for comparing objects. So this is what it is defined in the Java API. It's comparable, it's a generic. You compare the object, this object with another object of the same type. And this is the compare to method. Comparable interface is defined in the java.len package. Many classes in the Java API implements the comparable interface. So let's look at the examples here. Integer class in Java is defined as public final class, extends number, implements comparable to compare it with another integer. So this is compared to. It returns positive, 0, or negative. Positive, if this integer is greater than the other integer, that's positive. If it's equal, is 0. If it's less than, it returns negative value. And that's integer, and look at this big integer. Big integer extends number, implements comparable, big integer. And this is the compare to. And here's the string. String extends object, implements comparable string. And compare two strings using the compare to method. Date extends object, implements comparable. You can compare this date with another date. So all these objects are comparable. And let's write a test program. So here we have this integer dot value of 3. So this is 3 compared to integer dot value of, this is going to be negative value. So that is negative value. So this is negative value, -1. And this is compared to strings. So you can write this ABC dot compare to ABC. Same contents, so this is going to return 0. And 2 dates, so this is the one date, and this is another date. So the second date is larger, so this is going to be negative value. So this date, date 1 is less than date 2. Now look, all of this here, if you have this n is an integer object, so n is instance of integer, n is instance of object, n is instance of comparable. So this is the interface comparable. So let's look at another example here. Sort comparable objects. So we have this string in the array, cities. Apply the sort method to sort cities. How the cities are sorted? Because cities are comparable, their strings are comparable. So the compare to method used to sort all these strings. And this is the big integer. So we got this all the big integer. And now let's write the code, and to sort this, you can use java.util dot arrays dot sort huge numbers. So this is huge numbers here. Huge numbers is an array of big integers. Afterwards, using the for each loop to display all the numbers, they are all in order. So this is the order. The sort method is able to sort because all these items in the array, they are comparable. They have the compare to method. That compare to method is used to sort this. Let's look at the rectangle. How do you compare rectangle? So the rectangle does not have this compare to method, but they're not comparable. So what I'm going to do is to define this new class comparable rectangle, extends rectangle, and implements. So look, this is implements comparable rectangle. So this is rectangle, comparable rectangle. And we need to have this, the constructor is a comparable rectangle with this width and height, and invoke the superclass constructor width and height, the superclass rectangle. Rectangle is defined early in this chapter. It's a subclass of the geometric object. So now you have to overwrite this public int compare to with another comparable rectangle object. So this is object. So now this dot get area is greater than the other object. O dot get area return 1, less than return -1, and otherwise return 0. So we also override the toString method here to display here width, height, and area. And now you can have a test program sort rectangles. So we're gonna have this rectangles, they are comparable rectangles. So creating all these comparable rectangles. And now invoke java.util.sort rectangles. So this is all the rectangles now sorted, and display all this. So when you display them and you are using this toString method, this is all this here, and that's coming from here, the toString. This comparable is a very important interface in the Java API. So please review this, study the self-check questions, checkpoint questions, freestyle exercise, multiple choice questions. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you on the next video.